You need to understand the size of the problem, and then only you'll be able to actually find solution as a policy maker.
Right.
Now, you talked about two numbers, 17.5 billion liters and 20 billion
yeah.
liters. I will try and address both the numbers. And thirdly, you're talking about the demand side. The demand side is not 11.
Okay.
The demand side for the current year is 12 billion liters,
12
out of which 10.5 billion liters has already been tendered for, and another 1.5 billion liters tender should be coming up in the next 1 month or so for the third and fourth quarter. So for the full year, the demand is about 12 billion liters.
Okay.
Now, where has that 17.5 billion liters of production capacity or whatever number has come up?
Yeah.
It has come up from the fact that 17.5 billion liters were bid for in the tender by the ethanol producers.
Okay. Bidding number.
Bidding numbers. Now, the mistake that oil companies made this time was that they allowed bidders to bid up to their installed capacity
100%.
calculated at 365 days.
360 entire. I mean,
Yes.
Okay.
So if I have a production capacity of producing, say, 100 kiloliter per day, and they say, okay, 365 days, my production capacity becomes 3.65 crore liters per year. Okay? Whereas you're an engineer, you would understand that you don't run your plant for 365 days. It's simply
24.
impossible. You have to take some planned shutdown
Yes.
for maintenance, for cleaning of the equipment to keep your efficiency level good. Then there are some unplanned shutdowns also because of some breakage here and there.
Right.
We have been running two plants. I mean, earlier my experience, I didn't have that experience, but now I have my experience of 4 years of running two plants. So we have seen that there, at best, you can run your plant at 330, 335 days on an average. So 10% you should take as your planned shutdown and unplanned shutdown. So the mistake that happened was allowing people to bid at 365 days. And that is why you saw the bidding at 17.5 billion liters. Secondly, if you look at the allocation carefully of that, I mean, the bidding of 17.5 billion liters, you've seen people who were earlier making alcohol
Right.
also bid this time because people realize that there will be surplus bidding and therefore use that capacity to also bid and get extra orders from the government.
Okay.
So I would only, to keep this thing simple, first of all, reduce the 17.5 billion liters by 10%.
Yeah.
Same thing with the sugar companies. Sugar
Right.
companies are allowed to run for 270 days if they don't have what is called as incineration boiler to burn the spent wash. But if they develop an incineration boiler to burn the spent wash, then they're allowed to run for 330 days.
Okay.
Now, I'm not very sure whether the oil companies allowed them to bid for 270 or 330, but nobody can run at 270 days because of lack of enough raw material from the molasses side.
Right.
Okay? So you have to look at that 17.5 billion liters with that kind of focus. So if you reduce that 17.5 just by 10%, so you come down to about 15 or so.
Yeah,
No,
15.
sorry. 17.5 minus 1.75. Okay?
Yeah, it's around
so about 15.25
15.25
odd billion liters.
Yeah.
That is number one. Number two, there are some private oil companies in the country.
Right.
Naira and Reliance,
Yeah,
who have a share of almost about 10% of the petrol sales in the country.
Right.
So they have a demand of about 100 crore liters odd.
Yes.
So you reduce that 15.25, you bring down the number to 14.25 to 14.5 billion liters of realistic production capacity.
Yeah.
Okay? Versus 12 billion liters.
Yeah.
So if you divide 12 by 14.5, you come to about 80%. Problem size is not that big as has been made out to.
Right.
Now, second number that you're talking about, 19 billion or 20 billion liters of capacity. Yes, the government is talking about 90 to 20. Now, if you read the Niti Aayog report, it did talk about alternate demand also.
Yeah, additional demand in
which
other
is to be
sectors.
met by the same people.
Yeah.
So if you have a distillation capacity of 2,000 or crore liter or 20 billion liters, so 20 billion liters will also take care of the demand of the chemical sector and the liquor manufacturers.
Right.
Which I would put that number at about 4 billion liters odd.
Okay.
Okay, you can check up with Niti Aayog or somebody. I believe the numbers should be in that range.
Right.
3.5 billion liters would be required for liquor manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, ENA, etc., etc., and about a billion liter or slightly less than that for the chemical industry for paint or perfume, etc., etc.
Right.
So if you reduce that 20 billion liters by 4, you're coming to 16. Reduce that by a 1 billion liter, 1 billion liter for the private sector, you broadly come down to about 14.5, 15 billion liters of realistic capacity to feed the oil companies to take care of the blending requirement. So the problem size need to be correctly understood.
Yeah.
Which I think there has been a mistake, or people have got really very anxious
Yeah.
about the numbers very quickly.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the analysis which you provided definitely tells that problem is not that a big problem,
Yes.
and we are not at too much overcapacity. And other than these, like planned and unplanned shutdowns, there can be cases wherein other reductions are also possible.
Exactly, yes.
Not the increase, definitely reductions. So I think problem is not that, and a realistic evaluation should be done before taking any kind of decision or policy created capacity, investment followed. Plants were built, but if procurement is only half of the installed capacity, we must ask, is the model structurally sound?
Yeah, exactly. So what has happened is there are allocations given by oil companies to some manufacturers
Yeah.
at 105% of the 365 days of
Right.
capacity.
Right.
So they'll not be able to supply,
Yeah.
come what may.
Impossible.
Okay. And then because of that, some people have got 40% or 50%. वो anomaly हो गया है. That is what is the problem.
Yeah, that I wanted to bring that also in our discussion. Despite a very good policy and a sustained effort,
Yes,
we are achieving 20%. And overcapacity, undercapacity in the margins of, let's say, 10-15% can always be managed.
Correct.
Now, there were many dedicated plants, right? DEF, dedicated
DEP.
DEP, dedicated ethanol
plants.
plants were also set up, and people have invested in them.
Correct.
And now there are like 14 coming from Bihar, out of how many established, but they are facing an issue of limited orders, right, in the range of 40%, 50%. So there is a lot of buzz if they are likely to be closed or what to do. So how this situation arrived, or what is the problem, I wanted to understand.
Yes, I'm one of the units in Bihar. In fact, my unit in Jharkhand has also received only 50%. So, there was a change in the policy by the oil companies suddenly this year. It was a unilateral policy and nobody was informed. We did not know. So let me go back to 2021.
Yeah,
when the government was pretty eager and very anxious to develop more production capacities in the country, because of which a lot of financial benefits were rolled out
Yes.
by the center as well as state governments. So the keenness was there to attract people to invest in ethanol production capacities.
Right.
And in 2021, the oil companies came out with what is called as an expression of interest from the prospective bidders or the prospective people who wanted to set up ethanol plants across the country. And they said that if I require X amount in this state, we will kind of develop X amount for that state only. But a lot of people, because of high availability of maize in, say, Bihar or Madhya Pradesh or Jharkhand being close to both the states,
Right.
lot of and Punjab and Haryana.
Yeah.
So lot of many people actually bid in that particular EOI
Right.
and said that we want to set up. So there was too many people actually who wanted to set up. Then the oil company said that we can't accommodate all of them. But
Okay.
looking at the bids in the other states, like Rajasthan, there was probably just 2 or 3 bids.
Right.
Gujarat had 1 or 2 bids. Tamil Nadu, probably 2 bids. Kerala, 0 bids. Telangana, Andhra, hardly anything. So they said in other states, there are not many bidders. So we'll have to kind of take care of the demand there
Right.
from these states only.
Other
वहाँ पे हुआ है. So they said, ठीक है, we will want to develop some extra capacity in these these states. So the long-term agreements were signed for 10 years with these people. And they were told that, okay, I guarantee, oil companies are guaranteeing you to that we will buy about 40% or 50% of your design capacity that you had proposed in the EOI where you bid. But you set up to your design capacity if you want to. And for the balance quantity, guaranteed design minus balance, we will give you preferential allocation. Okay? Otherwise, had you told me that
Yeah,
you can
50%.
set up only 50%, probably half the people would not have gone ahead. But that assurance that I will give you a guaranteed buying plus a preferential allocation
Right.
gave that encouragement that look here, my demand, my production will be taken care of. And that's how the long-term agreements were signed.
Right.
For 3 years in the procurement tenders, there was always a clause saying the same thing.
Okay.
That up to guaranteed first preference,
Yeah.
for the balance, second preference.
Okay.
And then came the others with whom the oil companies did not have any kind of agreement.
Yeah.
Now, suddenly that second preference has been removed in this current year, and the balance quantity, 50% or so, has been put at par with the other non-LTA holders or non-DEPs with whom long-term agreements have not been signed. Now, what has that created? What has that landed up? Some areas, some people have got 105% of the capacity or 100% of the capacity, and some people have got 50%, despite having a committed agreement.
Yeah.
That is what we are trying to explain to the oil companies. I think they have understood the issue, and they have probably also understood the size of the problem. That the size of the problem is not 1750, it's just about 20% extra.
Yeah.
So it would have been a fairer and more reasonable thing to take care of everybody in the country and give everybody 80%.
Yeah.
Everybody would have survived, because this problem is not going to continue forever.
Yeah.
The demand has to increase.
Yeah.
Demand will grow because of various steps that the government will take or is taking. And therefore, this was only a 1 year or 1.5 year problem, which has to be taken care of.
Yeah, I think this is a very good suggestion. Like 80% probably allocation to all kind of players could have solved this problem. Just last point on this topic, whether this single buyer, single production facility, this linkage is a good idea, or whatever commitments you have from oil marketing companies and remaining you can have some other options. Is that a feasible option?
Yes, I mean, everybody would want to diversify and have another buyer also always.
Right.
But the model that we had developed in the country by the oil companies or the government or by us also. So this long-term offtake agreement which was signed between us and the OMCs has a clause which says that all the ethanol that we produce has to be compulsorily given only to the oil marketing companies.
Okay.
I cannot sell to anybody else as per that clause. But the oil companies from their side are just giving us 50%.
50% commitment.
So on one side you are binding me, on the other side you're not allowing me to sell to anybody else also. So that has to be relaxed in due course. So that is number one. To answer your question specifically, is a standalone, dedicated ethanol plant, can that survive? Can that do well? Yes, it can do well. Because if you look at any renewable program anywhere in the world, be it Brazil or US also, they have all been handheld by the governments with policies which have been favorable. You look at solar or wind or hydro or anything for that matter, nuclear, anything. So here is a renewable fuel which can be very well developed by the country, and therefore policies need to be stable. Once you keep changing your policies due to some reason or the other, you don't have the right environment.
Right.
Now, coming back to Bihar specifically,
Yes.
Bihar does not have many industries.
Yeah.
Bihar can develop only through agro-based industries.
Okay.
Now, that too, if you're going to say that the demand for petrol in Bihar is less and therefore we will not support more ethanol producers there and we will support in some other state which doesn't have maize or rice, you'll actually be carrying the maize and rice from Bihar all the way to another state produce ethanol, and then send it back to Bihar or one the other states there.